Hi folks, welcome to HORRORific Chats. Sorry, it looks like my guest hasn't been able to make it, so just me for the moment. Normally I delete, but had a wee bit of computer issues. Had to reinstall everything, so thought I may as well set this up and see that we're actually running. So do forgive me. This is actually a bit of a test. Here, may as well. You know what I mean? I'm here. Uh, just want to make sure it goes on YouTube and stuff. So here we go, got a new setup. Yeah, I've been having major technical issues lately. I don't know what the heck's going on. Yeah, it's mainly with install the PCI card modem, and everything went fine. Then when I installed Steam and Epic, so I could start playing games, everything just went tits up, and I seem to keep losing my connection. You've probably seen that in the last couple of streams, and then a problem with Zoom as well. So I've just been trying to get this fixed. Here, may as well share everything. This is the joys of streaming and stuff. You know what I mean? Go with the good with the bad. So it's like my screen. Fortunately, I don't have a guest at the moment, so can't really test if it looks right. You know when you have the two cameras on. And then I've lost everything because I had to wipe out my entire screen, so all my other stuff's gone now. So I'll have to do that from scratch. So it's fun. Anyway, while I'm here, I should have done this before I hit broadcast, but I knew, just in case anybody was waiting, I thought I may as well hit it rather than. I've had to delete a couple of streams with various people not turning up. Yeah, while we're here, let's have a look at some news. Sorry, I'll go to the bloody disgusting website and we'll see what's happening. Da 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 da. Keep push Joy Division. Alright. Is anybody watching Stranger Things season 4? I got to season 3 and it was awful. I just gave up. Oh, right, yes. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. We'll have to look at that. That's I saw somebody sent a link for that a while ago, and it looks mental. So just in case it's independently promoted. A. Mills' character Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain quite recently there, and if you're not familiar with what that means, authors, creators, it doesn't matter what you do. You produce works. Essentially, you've got 25 years and it's yours. If you don't do anything, don't revise it, and that's why you see like re-editions, re-releases and stuff, because it's all about keeping hold of your property. But when you pass away, unless you've left particular legal stuff, you know, I mean, it's all a bit of a mess, but essentially, if you have a property, you pass on or you don't do anything with it, then you basically, after 25 years, becomes public domain. That's why a lot of classics and all can be used and remade, and character, like we could reference Dracula and Frankenstein, stuff like that, without worries about corporations jumping in. Once something reaches public domain, now I'm not an expert, but I do believe that corporations can't just buy it then, so yeah, they can use the character, but they can't like jump on you. So that's cool. You know what I mean? That keeps things alive and can let you reference stuff. I'm sick of these. I'm sick of giant corporate entities. They're the most boring people on the planet, yet they own most of the creative properties, and the ones that run it are the most uncreative people you could think of. It's a bit of a. I know it's all about money, but at the same time, freaking get a grip, because they're destroying. They're destroying media at the moment, essentially, because they're idiots. But let's have a look at this article. Could probably throw it over here. But that blocked me. Yeah, there's my head. Yeah, we'll throw you up there. Aha! That's how it works. Move over. Yeah, I'm not a. You probably know I'm not a big streamer just for the sake of it, so trying to do this kind of stuff, all kind of new. But strange things can start to happen when beloved characters slip into public domain. So, as I was just saying there, they'll probably write it better than me, but an upcoming horror movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Sure testament to that. The upcoming horror movie, which of course not related to the big mouse in any way. In fact, there's a thing because that whole friggin' political crap that's going on. Disney were protected from their properties getting the public domain, but Mickey the Mouse could possibly enter in that too. So get ready for lots of fan stuff and people just messing it up, which would be funny to see because after what they've done with certain things, nothing more than what they deserve. So yeah, any misery in that company because they've just bought up everything out of greed. They've no creative endeavours now. Walt Disney himself probably turned in his grave because honestly, these morons at the moment are just disgusting. So we've got Reese Frake Waterfield. I'm not familiar with him. If you know anything, sure, point them out because it'd be interesting to know. What was I looking for there? Sorry, I'm looking for the chat thingy. Alright, still be in chat. Sorry, had the wee window disappear on me. I do keep an eye if anybody turns up. Just obviously with streaming, there's a bit of a delay. But thought I may as well jump on. So no plot details. So it's a killer wearing a Winnie the Pooh mask, which of course you can't do, under copyright because you get sued to death. But there you have it. Or a man bear hybrid. This article's reaching. You can tell they've no idea. They've heard of the concept. They know the movie's coming out, but they've no idea what's actually happening, which is cool because the last thing you want to do is before a movie even comes out is know everything about it. You know what I mean? You want a bit of mystery. So there's a version of Piglet as well. So that'll be so it just sounds like two. Do you know what it could be? Just two serial killers running around in Winnie the Pooh and Piglet masks, which I'm happy with. Yeah, I know you've seen Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. That's the guy in the pig mask. They were actually fun movies. Interesting concept. There's a TV show as well, Russian Doll, which I think came afterwards, which kind of played in that, but it wasn't as good. I mean, the horror, it was almost Sam Raimi type, horror comedy, which, if you've watched this for a while, I'm an absolute massive fan. So, it's kind of along Emma vibes. I think I liked the sequel better. The sequel actually was actually a decent enough story. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, just big mass. Me going off on a tangent. There you go. So it's a horror retelling of the famous legend of Winnie the Pooh. Better believe keep an eye on this one. Well, yeah. Sometimes I know articles, but some of that hyperbolic language they use. You better know we'll be keeping our eyes on this one. It's like, mate, calm down. Just settle yourself. It's all good. You know what I mean? I'm probably the worst person to be on YouTube, to be honest, because I don't get. If I like something, I like something, but I just can't stand that overactive, hyperbolic freaking. Yeah, this is brilliant. I'm gonna get super excited over nothing yet, because nobody knows. But anyway, Amber Dog Thorne, Maria Trailer, Daniela Scott. No idea. Get out right. So it looks. Here's some stills. Get Out. So I wonder, is this, do they class this as their property sort of thing? Somebody's moved into the abandoned house or bought it for cheap. Something sounds like that. This might change. So those masks look absolutely nothing like Piglet and Winnie the Pooh. So my question is, have they done this because they're afraid of getting sued? Because you can get Winnie the Pooh masks, you can get Piglet, you know what I mean? Google search, you can bring it up. So there's still a wee bit of fear. They've used the title just to say that they don't get jumped on, and then they've used generic masks. Because do you know what I'm expecting? Honestly, I want like, oh bother, and are we still friends, Pooh? All the I'd love it to be in the accents and use the language, and but after like chopping somebody to death, I'd love it to be in that sort of format. I'm just worried now. Actually, looking at this second still, that it might not be like that. It might just be a generic horror movie, and they're not going to have any fun with it. And they've just called it the title because they can call it the title. Yeah, yeah. Sorry to put a downer on it, but I'm just like, come on. Nice boobies. I like boobies. Yeah, I have mentioned this before. So is that a bikini? Blood. Oh well, there we go. So here's our victims. It looks like a retreat of some sort. So it might not be your typical teenagers, just having a party. Yeah, it could be a retreat. Yeah, maybe some sort of go find yourself type, pay 800 quid for a weekend type deal. But we'll see. Oh, somebody's tied up. We've got a sledgehammer. Could be gory. And then what's going on with the car? Looks like an Audi. Probably not if it's in America, but sort of can't see the badge. No, it's not an Audi because it doesn't have the badge. That's probably some American car. I like the headlights though. Right, that be that for that one. Right, what else we got? I'll just keep us up. Let's go back to the main website. Let's have a mosey. Oh, dog soldiers. Oh, we're going to be talking about that in July because I think it's like it's the 20th anniversary. In fact, I've ordered something which I'm going to share with you in horrific unboxings. If you haven't seen Dog Soldiers, you have to. Yeah, it's a brilliant movie, and we're talking about it in July, definitely, because it's such an amazing one. So let's have a mosaic. Yeah, this is something the Yanks friggin' get wrong, and it really bugs me. So June in the UK is Armed Forces Day, and that's where you celebrate the armed forces. They call it Memorial Day, which they're supposed to celebrate, commemorate. There's a difference between celebrate and commemorate. Supposed to commemorate the fallen in Memorial, which we call Remembrance Sunday, because it comes from the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month, Armistice Day, when after the First World War, guns fell silent, the treaty was signed, fighting stopped. Yeah, there was a few skirmishes afterwards, because it didn't really, because it's hard, back then, there wasn't like the internet, there wasn't clear communication. Perfect example of that's the Battle of Gallipoli. Basically, they weren't going to launch the attack, the Australians, but they did get the message through in time, the wire, before they blew the whistle. This is how people communicated back then. Fascinating, it was First World War. I think it doesn't get enough recognition because everyone focuses on the Second World War, understandably for the reasons, but the First World War was absolute horror and carnage, and it was because that's when the machine gun was invented, and that's what changed everything. Because everything was done with cavalry charges. It was, single bolt rifles, and it was actually still the cavalry. It was, war hadn't changed for 1,000 years until the First World War and the invention of the machine gun, and they still relied on cavalry charges, and the machine gun just went, mowed people down. Where's it going? But anyway, from 11th day, 11th of November, 11 a.m. on the 11th of November, that's Armistice Day. And that's where every other country in the world basically commemorates, 2 minute silence, all that stuff. The Yanks kind of flip them around. So they make that their celebration, but yet they close all their shops because they know it's not right. And they call this weekend Memorial Day, even though they all go out and have parties and barbecues on the weekend off. It's all very strange. And a wee bit disrespectful if you've served. You know what I mean? That's my personal opinion. You can agree or disagree if you want, but anyway. You can tell this is an American led brand. Just funny, it's British soldiers and dog soldiers if used. But here we go. War films are horror films, aren't they? Well, yeah. If you want to see, I remember when surround sound first came out, but if you ever want to test the surround sound on a system, get Saving Private Ryan and watch. I dare anyone to watch the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan and not be disturbed. Like seriously, if you're not disturbed, you're a wee bit tapped. Something seriously missing up there. But anyway, I digress. Then The Outpost, fantastic horror. When was this made? It was made in the early 2000s. I can't remember the actor. He was it was a British film, you know, British European film set in Europe. A lot of British actors set in Europe. Basically, what they do is they're all mercenaries, so they're veterans. They go on what's known as the circuit. You know, they do like private security jobs, but they're given this task of going to this outpost that's been abandoned since World War II. They have to retrieve something that turns out that it was a Nazi research centre who'd been playing about with interdimensional shenanigans, and a brutal movie. Absolutely, I think it's still available on Netflix. Check it out anyway. It's good fun. Really dark, brutal horror movie. Blood Snow, no, Dead Snow, and Dead Snow 2. They're actually German movies. They're done in German with English subtitles, and it's all about Nazi ghosts chasing Nazi gold. It's another good, like really famous tie-ins, and we cover one in the show called Blood Vessel. It's on Shudder. Definitely check that one out. That's a fantastic movie. It was one of our first TalkSpot episodes. We talked about that when it came out just over a year ago. Holy crap, we've been going for ages. But yeah, we talked about that movie. That's a real like horror war movie. Like the two genres really meld together. If you know any others, sure, drop them in the comments. But let's have a look at the article. So there's a thin line between the two, but military horror goes further by blending the literal and figurative. That's true. It's anyone that served will know that just you see some gnarly stuff. No if, buts, or maybes. Kim Wilmer post 9/11 horror in American cinema. Zombies cannot be reasoned with, cannot be negotiated with. True enough. They tried that in what do you call it? The Resident Evil. I know, shit franchise, but remember the one that actually tried to program one and get it some sort of cognitive ability. Shaun of the Dead did it better actually. They tried in Resident Evil, it was shit, but yeah, Shaun of the Dead, they started using them as like friggin' trolley porters in supermarkets and stuff. Hilarious. So blah replicate themselves. Excellent. God, I don't know, this article seems like it's a bit blah. That said, in recognition of Memorial Day, there are 14 military horrors to choose from that aren't all just about the undead. The point of view range from civilians trapped in military culture, teen cadets facing barriers. Oh, it's got all these fucking articles. Sorry, folks. If they bring that movie, I'm just saying. Facing Barriers is a female pilot. See if they bring that shitty movie with what do you call her? Mortez, whatever. The one that played Hit Girl. Oh fuck, it was shit. It's supposed to be a horror movie. It was absolutely terrible. If they bring that up, this is a shit article. Just say now before we go ahead. Anyway, Deadstream. Monkey's Paw Tale gets a Vietnam War setting and Deadstream. Okay, Dead of the Night. Andy Brooks. Have I seen? I don't think I've seen that one. That may be one for the vault. Yeah, okay. That's going to be one for the vault. We'll add that. That's... Haven't seen this. Vietnam War setting. Killed in Action. Death Note into Parents. Sister. Portrayed by John Marley. Film shows the early work of Tom Savini. Vietnam veteran himself. Alan Ormsby. Alan Ormsby, I know him. Can't remember what from. Veterans. God. Fucking. Right. This is it's just a fucking hyperbolic shitty article. Sorry I did this. Homecoming, right. Haven't seen this one either. Strange. Aired as part of the Mick Garris's Masters of Horror anthology, Homecoming is a pivot from the typical military zombie film where we root for the humans to survive. It's not the war film, tribute to fallen service members without giving anything away. Shows zombies who want more than brains. There it is, part of this. Jacques Hughes, 1918, set during the war in Iraq. Story told through the eyes of the presidential speechwriter David Murch. During a TV appearance, he tells a grieving mother, "If I had one wish, I'd wish for your son to come back." This statement accidentally summons the dead out from their American flag covered caskets and sounds heavy in his political stance, but the comedic and heartfelt Nah. Sorry. I hate preachy shit. Here's the thing, doesn't matter the subject matter. If you're a preachy cunt, I'm not with you. Fuck off. You know, that's basically it. Don't preach. If you want to get people offside from whatever it is, doesn't matter the topic, doesn't matter the cause. If you're a preachy type, or if you do preachy media, not interested. I'm instantly switched off. So yeah, not feeling that one. Like, okay, if you've been done over an IED and you're in bits, are you gonna want somebody to magically bring you back to life while you're like in tatters? And also, most coffins that come back from war zones are usually weighted out, don't have much of anybody left. Not all, especially in modern day warfare. There are things that everyone thinks it's a clean shot to the head and it's just magically peaceful, and I have this moment it doesn't. It's not pleasant. So yeah, this is made by some idiot who's not actually done anything and just trying to make a statement. Virtue signaling, not interested. Child's Play 3. Oh god, that was. I think that was the worst one of the series. That's where he goes. Andy goes to cadet camp. Like we call it cadets. What do the Americans call it? ROTC. I think it is. You call it OTC, but yeah, Andy goes this. Chucky gets himself delivered. Oh god, it's been years since. Yeah, this is the worst one. But this is where we get the introduction of Tiffany, which is quite cool. Yeah, I'm a Jennifer. That's a funny thing. Jennifer Tilly. She is your typical Hollywood actress. You know what I mean? She does all the fashiony stuff and all the hipster types of things, but she actually comes across as a genuine person. And so far, and I follow her on social media, she's not a nasty person and hasn't slagged people off, and seems actually just genuinely enjoying doing what she does. More people like her, please. Yep. But yeah, I think this is the first one where we get the Tiffany character introduced, which is the only good thing, but the movie itself is a bit pants. Chucky basically, there's a wee kid, and he's trying to get the Andy, but he got delivered to the wrong person. He gets put in storage, and then he bonds with this wee kid, and gets the wee kid to do stuff. And then they're doing it with paintball, and then he gets live ammo. It's well, one thing's military horror. I think that's hardly the first to come to mind, but absolutely fine. Third installment, Child's Play, introduces us to Andy Barclay. Yep, now 16 years old, attending Kent Military School, while his mother is in psychiatric care. He's seemingly safe from the least favourite doll of all time, Chucky. Brad Dourif still doing it. Brad Dourif isn't doing the Chucky series, not right? He's on it, but didn't they get another actor? Seems like a bit of a shame, but yeah, I don't think Brad Dourif's playing the character anymore. Because he actually, when I think back to the Chucky series, like it's the first movie when he has the it has aged terribly, but it was Chucky's dialogue that made me endeared to the character, because he wasn't just like a zombie. He was actually like still a flesh and blood human being. And when he meets a witch doctor, he's like, "I got shot and I hurt like a son of a bitch. What the hell?" You know, because the longer he stays in doll form, he turns. Where the Child's Play series has been really clever, much like the Nightmare on Elm Street series, is they got the shock and horror in the first two, and they kind of understood that they've done the shock and awe, they're not going to replicate that, so therefore they went the comedy route, and that's why the characters stayed relevant for so long, because essentially it understands what it is, it understands that it's not going to frighten people anymore or shock them, but made a comical character playing in the horror comedy that can last forever, as long as you keep the gag going. And yeah, apart from this one, which I thought was the weakest of the series, because I even liked, what was the one before Cult of Chucky? God, the says wouldn't do things off the cuff and you haven't got like the whole list. The one before Cult of Chucky, where the girl's in the wheelchair and they're in the house and Chucky was involved with the mother. Even that was panned, but I thought it was a good movie, because actually it was a lot of fun. It was a murder mystery. It was a Cluedo, you know what I mean, who done it, and then turned out it was Chucky. I actually thought that was a good movie, even though it one gets panned a lot. But yeah, this is the weakest of the three. Finds out Andy's location. Chucky, yeah, as I said, that's a young kid named Tyler. So essentially, Chucky gets delivered. It was addressed to Andy. For some reason, they took it and put it in storage, and then Tyler finds Chucky, and then Chucky bonds with Tyler and gets him to do shit, and then he starts killing instructors and stuff. Hell lays at the school, yep. The film's been said as the least favourite. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the weakest. Even though the other one got panned a lot more, this isn't not fantastic. It's watchable. Don't get me wrong. It's watchable. You can enjoy it. You know what I mean? Just put that out there. You can watch this and not be offended or bored. Do you know what I mean? It's a popcorn flick, essentially. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's basically a popcorn flick, and just have a bit of fun with it. Trying to be fans, I argue that it's undeserved. It's an environment we're going to see. Yeah, this guy's reaching, or girl, whoever wrote this article, they're reaching. They've had 5 minutes to create an article for the weekend, and they're just talking a lot of shite. Here, but right, this is the one I'm talking about. Chloe Grace Moretz. Oh God, this is an awful, awful movie. Starts off with a good, potentially good premise, and then it just goes to rat shit about 20 minutes in, and misogyny, blah blah blah. Right, the Second World War was the most innovative time. That's why it's so famous. The Second World War was the most innovative time in history, even though it was a horrendous time. But nobody gave a shit. Her Majesty the Queen was in the auxiliary forces and served. Women served all across the board. They used special ops. This is the birth of David Sterling formed the SAS. You know what I mean? That was the birth of special forces. The French Resistance, both male, female operatives. Nobody get, you know what I mean? Because you friggin' use sex sells, you know what I mean? So a female operative could get in better to places than a male just by wearing a bit of lipstick and stuff, you know what I mean? So this actually was offended by this movie because it's disingenuous at the time, and the women who did secret stuff, and the fact that they never talked about it because that was the culture as well. People didn't talk. Not there was no everyone jumping on social media 5 minutes later. People who kept secrets kept it. Cruz Mortez is a shit actress. I don't like her. I'm just putting that out there. I really don't like her stuff. What do you call that? Kick-Ass was alright. Nicolas Cage carried the first one. The second one was boring. Even Jim Carrey couldn't save it. Oh, I finished off Dark Crimes yesterday with Jim Carrey, and God, that guy's a and I used to pan him as well, but he's actually a really good actor. And I used to think, just goofy, one-dimensional, but if you watch him in Dark Crimes, holy shit, you know what I mean? The guy's got range. And a Christmas Carol, he narrated Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. Watch that, and you kind of see Jim Carrey in a different light. And I disregarded the guy for years, but yeah, after Christmas Carol, actually, that's when I went, oh, holy crap, this guy can actually do stuff. And then I kind of rewatched some of the stuff, and Cable Guy is one of my favourite movies, you know what I mean, just show himself to be twisted. But there you go. Yeah, this movie is goddamn awful. World War II pilot, Maud Garrett, classified mission delivery pack. Seeing is there any discrimination, sexism, male crew on board? The opening sets come to what the vintage cartoon of a Kremlin. There's an interesting chocolate. Right. I'm not going to give spoilers, but the whole premise of the movie, what it starts off is that, shit. Once it gets about halfway through it, turns into absolute dog shit. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, it might have been interesting, but it doesn't. It's a fucking joke of a movie. Trust me. Where's it on? Might be on Amazon. Don't think it's on Shudder, but it's a shit movie. Trust me, it's awful. And this crap, you know what I mean? Misogynism. It's just protective language to hide a shit movie, which is actually not even remotely interesting. Save yourselves an hour and a half or so. Don't watch it. Ravenous. Is that Robert Carlyle? Oh, it is, right? Holy crap, I haven't seen him in ages. Have I seen this? During the Mexican-American War, Captain John Boyd, Guy Pearce, haven't heard him in ages. I said the US Army outpost survived an enemy attack but playing dead. Half-life frostbitten man named Colin, Robert Carlyle, struggles into the area. He retells the story of his horrific escape from a colonel turned cannibal in the mountains. Soldiers gear up and initiate a rescue mission with the memorable assailant Colonel Hart, Jeffrey Jones, Private Reich, Neil McDonough, okay, Private Daughter, Jeremy Davies, Native American Scouts, Joseph Running Fox. When they arrive, the truth unfolds in a satisfying sequence that delivers gore, thrills, and suspense. Film references the folklore of the Wendigo. Alright, cool. We like the Wendigo. We've mentioned that a few times. I've said before, I'd love to see more Native American folklore get transcribed. In fact, a lot of the world, like Native American, African, somebody needs to start dictating. I know it's passed verbally through the tribes, but somebody needs to start notating and generating stories, and not the whole, the Europeans come, blah blah blah, but I mean actually as is in the original format as much as possible, and preserve that stuff. There's a whole gem. I think that's the problem at the moment. Everyone's talking about representation, right? But all they're doing is jumping on Western stuff. there's a whole plethora of stories and tales, because that's humanity. Humanity is stories and tales, and explaining things through prose. And I'm worried that this stuff will get lost. I think need to start getting this stuff down, and we need to actually get them as folklore stories. And I think then you get more of appreciation for cultures. India has a really strong culture. During the 80s, actually it was Channel 4, fair play to them. I know they went complete idiots at the moment, but Channel 4 used to, every Saturday, they would tell Indian myths. You know what I mean? They would actually have a TV show and would actually put a lot of it on. So thanks to Bollywood and stuff, like Indian stuff gets put out, but Native American, African, look at Hong Kong movies, you know what I mean? There's a lot of like Oriental, Far Eastern stuff is put down, and that's great. But even then, we're still not too familiar with it, which is a shame, because in this day and age, you know what I mean, there's a lot of if in fact there's a story I remember, sorry, I told another podcast, The Goblin Rat, Japanese tale. There was this book series I got when I was a kid, storyteller, and it was the first story ever that truly frightened me. And it was really, you know, I mean, there was no blood and guts and gore, but it was like a really chilling tale, and just the way the narrator, you know, you put a cassette tape in. Yes, I'm showing my age, but that played the story, and then you read along, and the idea was that it was entertaining, but it taught you to read as well, because you'd somebody narrating the story while you read it. But yeah, that was like the first horror tale. It was a Japanese one that frightened me. You know what I mean? Then that was kind of my peak interest into horror. But yeah, haven't seen this one. I think I've seen it, but Ravenous. Yeah, I think we'll add that to the list and check it out. Body Snatchers, right. Is this one with Jeff Goldblum? 1993. The fourth adaptation of Jack Finney's novel Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right. 2007's Invasion to follow. Southern Army base, EPA chemists, Steve Malone, Terry Kennedy, Meg Tilly. Oh, Meg Tilly, is that Jennifer's? Funny enough, Meg Tilly, she's an author. Jennifer Tilly's sister. Oh, Arlie Army. Oh, good. Yeah, rest in peace, Arlie Army. Brilliant drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket. Oh, I gotta love him. He's like he's the most awesome human being. He's played the same character forever, and he did a TV show, if you remember, like talk about weapons and stuff. Yeah, fantastic bloke. One of the few genuine people on TV, to be honest. But yeah, when he went on the Full Metal Jacket, he was only meant to be there as an advisor, and he ad-libbed better than the actual actor. So they're like, "You're in, big lad," and that was him. So that'll be worth a look at. Oh, Forrest Whitaker as well. Cool. Like him. Oh, you want to talk about war movies with Forrest Whitaker? The Crying Game. Set back in Northern Ireland, where I'm from. Yeah, that's an interesting movie. Gotta check it out. One of Liam Neeson's first appearances as well. But Peculiar Behaviour, blah blah blah. I haven't seen this. I have not seen this. I always remember the black and white one. Haven't seen in ages, and then obviously the one with Jeff Goldblum in it. Yeah, as you know, I'm great with actors' names. But there we go. There's that. So what oh, Jacob's Ladder, right? 1990. I have seen this. Is it really horror? I would say it's more psychological thriller than horror. So it basically set during the Vietnam, was it during the Vietnam conflict? Where they're experimenting on soldiers and doing gnarly stuff. And this was a group of soldiers who just find themselves trying to figure out what the hell happened. There's this for failure. Jacob's Ladder became one of the most influential military horror films to date. Legacy shown in the Silent Hill video games, American Horror Story, Asylum, Sixth Sense, and more. Flashdance and Fatal Attraction, he's under his belt. Oh, this is an 80s one? Right, okay. Tim Robbins. Oh, I'm familiar with him, haven't heard him in a while. So, Vietnam veteran suffering from dissociation, nightmarish visions, divorce, grief, traumatizing experience in the war. Just a wee bit of light on there. Exploitive commentary in the veteran's psyche. It unfolds as a Francis Bacon painting turned fever dream. Mystery builds as the plot deepens, ultimately leading towards a poetic ending. That's not the one I've seen. Is it? Oh, we need to check it out. Jacob's Ladder, what's the term? What's that term mean? It's to do with different levels of psychosis or something, or to do with drugs, but essentially they were experimenting soldiers using LSD, I think, at the time, and the weird stuff that came from it, and it was basically he's completely checked out because of what happened, and it turned out experiment had done. If this is the same story, the same Jacob's Ladder that I'm thinking about, Je Accuse. Right, George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead set up zombie architect. Here's the thing, yeah. This is why I don't like zombie movies now. George A. Romero, when he created Night of the Living Dead, he understood these are animated corpses. So they're going to be rotten. So it depends on the level of decay, as in how well they move. And considering the budget and the times and stuff, did a really good job. But see now, zombies are jumpy, screamy things, and busy shit. I don't like them. I don't like zombie movies. I just think they're very cliche. It was, what was that TV series, The Walking Dead or something? I've watched the first season of that, and I think after that, I checked out the zombie movies. So any zombie movie comes on, I'm not watching it. Just no interest. They've changed it from like 28 Days Later is an example. I mean, it's not Reanimated Dead, it's Virus and Resident Evil, which I mentioned there. I mean, they're not animated corpses anymore. It's a virus infecting people, which completely, it's not zombies. I mean, zombies are based on Haiti voodoo witchcraft. So the whole zombie thing is, based on, like, we talked about White Zombie. That's what that was based, yeah, Haiti. So the idea of bringing the dead back to life. But now zombie movies they're more like infection movies, like what do you call that? The Omega Man, wasn't it, with Charlton Heston? But that the zombies wipe out, But anyway, it's kind of, they've changed, but they're lumped onto the zombie thing, and I just find it boring. And then obviously because they can't do anything more with zombies, they focus more on like drama between the characters, which meh, not as much fun. But anyway, little tangent. So while George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead set up the zombie archetype, said that Jacques Couset, a French silent film about the injustice of World War One, may have been the first show of to show the undead on screen. We meet Jean Diaz. When his life's interrupted by war, what is a psychological transformation through the years? Prison was blah 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 blah. Fucking, I hate the way people write like this. Honestly, boring as hell. I know you're trying to fluff out a piece, but fucking just speak. I hate word soup. Hate it. It's boring. Drafting the Army 1970 actually incorporated field footage into the films. Big 3-hour journey, spanned into 2 parts, examining the horrors of war with fascinating cinema. Yeah. This author's a political activist. You know, they're just blah, 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 blah. And they're using films that are, trying to use the horror genre to get annoyed with this article now. Fucking hell. Right. The Ninth Configuration, 1980. Not familiar with that one either. I don't think evil grows out of madness. I think madness grows out of evil. From the author of The Exorcist, comes a sophisticated directorial debut. Who even planned this as a sequel? An adaptation of his novel Twinkle Twinkle Killer Kane. It features heavyweight cast of character actors with gothic. Let me put these headphones in. Gothic military mental asylum, including Scott Wilson, Jason Diller, Tom Atkins, Robert Loggia, Ed Flanders, and more. Another post-Vietnam film about Colonel Kane. Marines sent to the asylum to observe the patients to verify they are faking mental illness. It's a psychological slow burn with a twist that may leave many to wonder where the horror lies. Nah. Don't know if it's like a horror movie or if it's just a... Nobody likes... Here's the thing. And once again, if you're an activist, doesn't matter what your... doesn't matter your stance is. Even if I agree with you, if you're an activist, I think you're an arsehole and I've no time for you. Nobody likes war. It's not like, yippee! But sometimes it's necessary. It's the human animal. We're destined to fight and argue, and sometimes you need the stick because the carrot doesn't work. And it's one of those things. Sometimes you have to step up. Funny enough, the same people that are virtue signaling right now over Ukraine are happy with war to take place there, and then they're also panning Memorial Day. So hypocrisy just does my head in. Anyway, here we go. Don't know if I fancy it. I don't mind silent movies. Nice go old school, but I'm just sick of political messaging and everything. I think I just want to enjoy movies. I want to escape. You know what I mean? The whole point of horror is to give you that uncomfortable feeling, to challenge you. You know what I mean? You're not the alpha predator anymore. So in that case, you want to escape from reality and not just be beaten over the head with current day politics. And it just seems like that's what this article is at anyway, by their choice of movies and stuff. And here we go, Dog Soldiers. So I agree, this is definitely what I say this said about was just off the cuff. I hadn't planned to. Turned out to be an absolutely fantastic movie. It's got Sean Pertwee in it. So he plays a Sarge. And Spoonie's the best character. You know what I mean? Just great movie. It's almost Hammer horror style. You know what I mean? It was done in that kind of style on a low budget. Dog Soldiers follows British soldiers conducting a training exercise in the Scottish Highlands. This finds success in utilising one of the more off. Oh right, it's the Yank Rider fucking spat with his head. Ugh. That's why the article's dumb, because you've got some activist American writing this. This finds success in utilising one of the more underrepresented creatures in the subgenre, the werewolf. Really? So we're going to go werewolf fights now. Loads of werewolf movies. Tons. One of the most iconic American werewolf in London. You know what I mean? The whole Underworld series. Got leggings. The Wolfman. You know what I mean? One of the original Universal creatures. And it's underutilized. This person's an idiot. Absolute idiot. Seriously, this is just an activist. They're saying, "Oh, we need more werewolves." Like, there's plenty of werewolves. Van Helsing, fucking another one. That was a fun movie with what's his face, New Zealander guy, played Wolverine. Hugh Jackman. Yep, there you go. Yeah, piss off. There's a difference between like, for example, zombie movies have been done to death. Less is more sometimes. Do you mean for a while our vampire movies were done to death and they've pulled back from it? You know, each trope, each character, each monster, use as and when to get them the effect. Don't overdo it. Oh God. But we know what type of author, writer this moron is anyway. I'm just getting the feel, it's just making me sick. Anyway, the cast includes Sean Pertwee, Kevin McKidd, Liam Cunningham, as they battle against tall, dark and fearsome lycanthropes. Nicely fits within the ranks of other action movies like Aliens and Predator, around the time release. I would say it was more Hammer horror, to be honest. This movie stands on its own. Like I said, I love this movie. But it has a Hammer horror house type vibe. There were plans to have a sequel titled Dog Soldiers Fresh Meat and Everywhere. Yada yada yada. Yada yada. 121. Marshall said there's still a chance of revival. Leave this one alone. Right? Morons. Leave it alone. Doesn't need sequels. Doesn't need remakes. Piss off. It's a fantastic movie and it still holds up. The reason it still holds up is because the acting, the dialogue, and the interaction. You know what I mean? Go away and leave it. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, the 4K is coming out in July, which I'll feature. I've already pre-ordered it. I'm going to feature it in horrific unboxings. Yeah, just leave this movie. This movie is cool. It's a cool movie. A lot of fun. Don't mess with it. And it's ultimately British as well. He's got that British sense of humour, so if you don't get that, then you'll probably not enjoy it. But yeah, who cares? Piss off. Leave it alone. Don't do it. Right, what else we got? R Point 2004. Kung Su Chang. Described as Apocalypse Now meets Ringu. The film 2011 on the Ghosts of War. South Korean squad 1972 sent to Vietnam to find missing soldiers. The combat mission 10 days Aurora will leave. What? Anyway, have to say South Korea have taken the horror genre. I mean, not of their recent movies. Squid Game, All of Us Are Dead. God, what was that other one? They've even managed to reinvigorate the zombie genre. You know what I mean? Tired franchise. So I'm kind of contradicting myself, but South Korea. What was that other one? The guys in the apartment complex. I can't remember. God, I can't remember the name. But another great South Korean one. South Korea at the moment are killing it with movies. They've just got heart and soul in them. Where are we? Where we leave Lieutenant Choi as their leader. The group encounter a mansion that miraculously appears in the night. The area begins to toy with their minds, eventually pitting them against each other and forcing them to question their own sanity. Interesting fact, structure they shot in was a casino during the French colonization period. Our Point is a dark ghost story, but surprisingly has many moments of humour that can carry you through the journey. Streamed in Canaway. That'd be worth checking out. No, I have to say. Yeah, that'd be worth checking out. South Korean's amazing at the moment, movie making. So most people are going there because they've still got heart and soul and actually enjoys storytelling. So, yeah, worth having a look at. What else we got? Overlord. Initially rumoured to be the fourth film in the Cloverfield series. Oh, Jesus Christ. First Cloverfield, I'm not a fan of fan footage. If you just keep up with the channel, you know that by now. But I like Cloverfield. The Cloverfield Lane with he was in Roseanne. Goodman? No. It was actually decent. Cloverfield Paradox was pants. Didn't they do an animated one as well? It was shit too. So, Cloverfield Paradox, just absolute shit. The animated one, I think they did, I don't think I even finished. So, there's that. Yeah, because what they did, freaking Jar Jar Abrams again, that guy's a absolute arsehole. He takes other properties, so that other, other properties and stuff, he just stitches it together, and his mystery box shite, he doesn't know how to write a story, so he opens up, like, plot hole, he opens up fucking plot threads and then leaves the thing and lets somebody else finish it off. The guy's a dick. So, the fact to mention him puts me off this movie. This could be a good movie, but the fact that I mention that moron just puts me off immediately. But anyway, let's carry on. Producer shut those down, but promised that Overlord was batshit crazy. It takes place in the eve of D-Day. Group of American paratroopers crash land on Nazi-occupied territory when their planes attacked. Force fire, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Nah. Sorry if it's got Jar Jar Abrams involved. I'm not interested. Starship Troopers is not a horror movie. It's a sci-fi. There's people getting chopped up and stuff, but it's more of a. It comes right when I first watched Starship Troopers. It's based on a book. How to describe it? It comes off as really dumb and cheesy, and it takes a second watch, and then you realise it's one of the cleverest movies of the time. And it's talking about basically dystopian, totalitarian government and the effect. It's a social narrative, but it's really cleverly done. It's one of the, it's a movie you can stick on anytime. It holds with time. It's one of the best movies ever made. The sequels, not so much. They're shit. But the actual movie, Starship Troopers, is fantastic. I wouldn't class it as horror, though. Class it more as action, sci-fi. Not saying it's a bad movie, but I wouldn't put it in this genre. But guess what? As a horror fan, you can enjoy other genres. That's perfectly fine. But I wouldn't class it as horror. Still watch a movie, though, if you haven't. But if you're watching for the first time, kind of go through and then give it 5 minutes, give your brain a chance to reset, and then watch it again. And you'll pick up all the social cues. It's brilliant. Anyway, let's see what shit this person's going to... Right, because already I know this journalist is a moron. I'm not impressed with him. Sorry, bourbon. The Bananas satire on the gung-ho institution of the military was critically panned upon release. That's because it was done on 2 levels. So people see the first level. I think RoboCop was done the same way. Looks cheesy, like all the cutscenes, but really deep message. I miss movies like that because right now you're beating over the head with stuff and it's just horrendous. But become a cult classic based on a novel by Robert A. Heinlein. Verhoeven only read a few chapters, specified made him bored and depressed. Takes place in a future society during the interstellar war, massive alien plugs. Never really goes how the war started or blah blah blah, but still. After graduating high school, a group of teens enlist in the Federation, portrayed by Casper Van Dien, Denise Richards, Dinah Meyer, and Neil Patrick Harris. They're forced to grow up fast and thrown in the fire of the arachnids, who are described as a perfect species. It's a military coming-of-age story we never got from John Hughes, touching from all the screen, frustrations and romance. Oh, for fuck's sake. God, this person writes like shit. This is hyperbolic crap. Sorry. But I had to do something. My guest didn't turn up, so I thought may as well stream. I'll change all the links and whatever. Like I said, I don't class it as horror. It's a fantastic movie though. So just on that alone, it's worth a watch. Death Watch. How many of these are there? There's loads. Right, we're going to be here a while. Death Watch. Is that looks like Andy Serkis. Death Watch anyway. 1917, a group of British soldiers are fatigued, hungry and wet through the perils of World War One. Upon finding an abandoned German trench, they set up camp and find there's evil much worse than anything the company expect. Cast includes Jimmy Bell, Andy Serkis, Matthew Rhys, Lawrence Fox and Chris Marshall. Cool, who delivers solid performances as soldiers facing mistrusts and the area's cruelty. For a low-budget film, as being Bass's directorial debut, it boasted impressive production design, mood building and memorable scenes of horror that include barbed wire, rats and buckets of mud. Much of the nightmare of imagery was inspired by author Cliff Graham's Come to War. It almost feels like a period companion to the Silent Hill. Fucking Silent Hill again. Right, this person's watched Silent Hill, but it sounds like I'm just going to compare everything to it. Fucking idiot. Death Watch streams and Tubi. Why have I not seen this? We can't get Tubi over here now. Even though the EU blocked it, but we're not part of the EU. But we don't get it, so need to find that one. Yeah, it looks good. You don't need, right, once again, because I'm now starting to talk to independent directors. You don't need a massive budget to write good stories. You need the actors, you need the mood, you need the motivation, you need a good story. The visuals and special effects are secondary. They're only enhancements, like icing on the cake sort of thing. You tell a good story, you have the right cast, you're good to go. Blah blah blah. Shitty article. Oh, is that it? Oh. Alright. The comments. Let's right. Let's have a look. There were no female pilots in World War II. Well, she wasn't a female pilot. Alright, I'm not going to spoil that movie, but there were plenty of female operatives. That's where I have an issue. And it's disingenuous to the brave women who actually served and put their lives in danger. And in fact, a lot of them were agents really close to the enemy. And fucking put themselves out there. There were lots of intelligence gatherers, which at special forces type level, do you know what I mean? Actually being right there on top of the enemy, gathering information and extracting. You know what I mean? That's real sneaky beaky stuff. So what that movie is trying to like portray is utter horseshit. Do you want to go through the comments? Fuck it, we'll have a quick scan. Just funny feeling it's going to be a shit fest. You know, this is what I hate about the internet, social media, and that. Yeah, we've all got opinions. I've got opinions. I'll just say, God, right. I'm known for praising my praising Master of Horror. Blah 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 blah. Okay, people didn't like that. All those films are better than. Right, I'm not alone here. People don't like this author. Great listen, blah blah blah. Death Watch, pretty fucking good. Okay. Oh, this is recent. Okay. God. Right. Okay. Yeah, Johnny Got His Gun by Dalton Trumbo. That was actually the Metallica song. One was derived from that. If you are familiar, really brutal. And there's a movie. So Dalton Trumbo, Johnny Got His Gun was a book. They made a movie on it. And then Metallica did the song. That's horrific. Still, is there a horror movie? Yeah, that could almost be classed as horror. Oh, that's really disturbing. It's a really disturbing movie and really disturbing book. Check it out. Yeah, check that out. And of course, so I'm not a fan of Metallica anymore. You know what I mean? I grew up once you reach puberty, and yeah, you kind of get fed up with those guys that haven't progressed at all. But yeah, well, what else with that? Overlord. No. Frankenstein's Army. Blah 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 blah. Haven't seen that. Right. Who's this by? Oh. Xanthe Parillo. Okay. Well, there we go. Bye bye. There's an interesting article. Thought I may as well fill a bit of time. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Sorry, guest didn't turn up. Trying best to put something out there. Until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.